everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. I want to talk today about beauty standards because as someone who is biracial, who lived in two different countries, went to three different cities in her lifetime, which I know may not be a lot compared to others who have experienced living in multiple different countries in multiple different cities. However, I could at least say from my experience how beauty standard is bullshit. Let's talk about it. Just to start with my background and why I wanted to talk about this topic is because I think it is so harmful for a young girl, young woman to constantly be in this place where we are comparing ourselves with others. What is and isn't beautiful. And for my 18 years of my life, I lived in Japan as the only Japanese and black mixed girl that I knew of in my city. And all the beauty standards that I grew up consuming, seeing, was told was complete opposite from my own features. I was a very, very insecure girl growing up in Japan, and I noticed that became a thing when I noticed that I wasn't checking any of the boxes of the beauty standards in Japan. And just to kind of give you a little bit of what I look as beautiful or what I was told was beautiful in Japan was first of all light skin. There's a word called bihaku. Bihaku just means like beautiful white skin. And all the products, all the advertisement will say bihaku hara, right? Like beautiful white skin. How to achieve it. Me personally, my DNA say I can't do that. I cannot be white, right? I'm black. So my beauty standard was always something I couldn't physically achieve. Even if I got plastic surgery. Not that I'm going that route. I'm just saying something that I could never ever check the box of was my skin tone. And that itself was very heavy because everyone around me had very lighter skin tone. And it's like a very obvious difference. You know, if you walk down the street, you will clearly be able to tell that I'm different. And this is also, I'm a 98 baby, right? So early 2000s, that's when I had my childhood. And now, if you go to maybe like Tokyo, even if you go back to my home city, Fukuoka, there are a lot of tourists. There are, I'm sure, more mixed kids in Japan, but it wasn't as common when I was in Fukuoka, Japan in the 90s and the early 2000s. And even if you're mixed, like you might be mixed with other ethnicities that had lighter skin tone, but being black and being mixed in Japan automatically did not let me check any of the boxes of the beauty standard in Japan. So skin was a big part of it. Another feature will be my hair. Like I now discovered like I don't know, like 7-ish years ago that I have wavy hair, and now I have products that I could use for my wavy hair to activate my waviness. But in Japan, what is promoted constantly on like shampoo commercials and all are the straight, beautiful black silky hair that I always wished I had. It's something I was never able to get again because of my DNA. So I wouldn't go far as like doing shukumo, meaning shukumo means kind of like just like very it is very damaging to your hair, but it just makes your hair very straight. So it's kind of like a straight perm, I will say. And a lot of people who had fuzzy hair in Japan will also get that. But I never went to the lengths of doing that just because I also have very fine hair. So I'm like, I know if I burn my hair, it's going to get burnt. And I didn't want that. But I did find ways, especially when I was in elementary school, to try to see how I could blend in with the people around me. So I will get this like oil called tsubaki abura. It's a hair oil, but it's very, very thick. By the way, if you do have very thick hair, thick, silky hair, tsubaki abura, tsubaki oil is so good for your hair. I still use it to like moisturize, like if I'm doing like a hair mask. Anyway, not the point. But I will put that all over my hair to make it flat, make it look flat, so it will be closer to the ads I saw growing up in Japan. Those are just many examples of what I experienced in Japan, automatically not being able to check any of the boxes of the beauty standards in Japan for my 18 years. Now, fast forward to when I'm 18, I moved to the United States. I went to California, Bay Area first for my college, and that's when everything started to shift because people will compliment my skin tone and people will say they like my lips or they'll compliment features about me, even having more thicker bottom because my body type, I'm a triangle, so I have more curves around my hips than I do anywhere else. So in Japan, like the skinnier the better. Right here, you have curve, especially like 2016, like even now too, but thick girls, right? Like if you have some thickness, that's good. I don't think I'm a thick girl at all, but I did have more curves around my hips, around my butt, and people love that. And I'm just like, wow, it is so different because all the things that I was criticizing about myself, my skin, my hair, my body, now it's celebrated all of a sudden, miraculously, right? When I moved to a different city and a country. This is why I am proof to say that beauty standards are bullshit. It is not real because it is based on culture, it is based on society, it is based on how people want to control women. Because the more insecure you feel, the more products you will buy. And it's a whole different conversation, right? But beauty standards are something that doesn't have to be copied. We don't have to check all the boxes of the beauty standards. And sure, I am a victim of following some of the beauty standards of what we see in society today, right? At the end of the day, it's about the intention behind it. Are you doing it so that you could get closer to what's considered beautiful, or are you doing it because that makes you actually feel beautiful? And I want to break down some of my tips when it comes to beauty standards and how you don't have to follow the societal beauty standards, but how you also get to create your own. And the reason why I think it's so still important to have standard for yourself is because this is a way for you to show up for yourself, for you to create a foundation of how much self-love you're going to pour into yourself. So this is how I kind of look at it when it comes to the beauty standards. So, number one is first really acknowledging how societal standards and your own beauty standards and it's different. So, the society and societal beauty standards will say thicker the better, you need to have curves around the waist, you need to have a certain skin complexion, you have to have a little bit more full lips than thin, you have to have a certain nose, you have to have a certain jawline, you have to could go on and on. Again, this will look different based on your country, based in your city, based in your ethnicity, based group, or anywhere, right? Like it just is so different. So just notice what are the ones that you've been told is beautiful, like your conditioning around what is considered to be beautiful. How did you grow up seeing it and how do you see it now? What are these little check boxes that you feel like you need to check to be considered beautiful? And then once you identify that, now you want to also identify what actually makes you feel beautiful because there's a difference. As an example, for me, my eyes, I have more of an almond eye, I will say, and I really love a wing liner. I That's been my look since I don't know, since when? Since when is it? I don't know because I kind of started it in college, but for the last couple years at least, like that's been my signature way. And I really love the way how it highlights my eye. I used to also hate my eyes. That's another thing because in Japan, like the more rounder, like kawaii eyes were more idealized, or what is the right word? Those were what people consider kawaii, cutesy, right? Whereas mine is very sharp. Instead of avoiding that and trying to make myself kawaii, I actually started to embrace my eyes and have eyeliner all the time. So that's one way that makes me feel good. I love my eyeliner and wing liner and how it looks, and that makes me feel good. That makes me feel like I'm not blending, molding in a certain way, but it's part of me now. It's part of my signature look. So identify what's actually turning you on, what actually makes you feel good rather than you feel like you're checking the box because you have to, because that's what you've been told, that's what you've been seeing on social media. And the next step I want to make is to create still a beauty standard but for yourself. So the reason why I think beauty standards are very nice to have, but it has to be personalized for you, is because when we don't have a certain standard of how we want to show up in our day to day life, we just go with a default. We just go with what's safe, what is okay, what's meh. It's practical. People who are listening to my podcast, we are not average people, okay? We are someone who wants to elevate our energy, elevate our look, elevate our image, elevate our income. Like we are all about going up. So if you want to go up, 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 up. you also have to have some type of standard for yourself so that you could show up for yourself, so you could show up to the world. Whatever you want to manifest, you have to show up fully. And how you could do that first is by creating your own standard. And again, we're talking about aesthetics. So this is where you get to create your beauty standard that is going to be uniquely yours. Think about it like this. When you're on your period, okay, when you are sick, when you are lazy or you don't want to work at all, when you want to rewind, you are going to wear something that's going to be comfortable, like sweatpants, your oversized tee, something that makes you feel cozy in your house. If you had to rate it from 1 to 100, that's maybe like a 20. Maybe you're at a level 20 in terms of how it makes you feel good in your beauty. Because beauty isn't priority at this point, because priority is to relax, is to rewind, is to rest your body. Now, a lot of people though still are on this level 20 out of the 100, even though that's not where they want to operate from. So now I want you to think about the time that made you feel like 100. 90 to 100. Let's go there. 90 to 100. So this could be when you did your full makeup, when you had your hair done. This could be when you had your hair, makeup, and outfit on point, right? This could be when you wore that one dress that you went out with your girlfriends and you always got compliments every club you went to. And people are like, okay, that's your color. Wow, that dress was made for you. Like any of the comment that made you really feel good about yourself, it was a certain, maybe it was a certain cut, a certain fabric, certain color that made you really feel like, whoa, I'm really that bitch. You want to go back to a time where your image really communicated that to your body, because we all know that feeling of feeling turned on with the clothes that we wear, but we don't really look back and really analyze what actually made us feel that way. Go back to your 10-10, 100-100, 90-100 at least outfit and see what that was. What was it? Was it your hair, makeup, nail, jewelry, certain color, fabric, silhouette? Like anything could be a turning on point for you. So analyze that first. So now that you know that you have reached this level of 90 or 100 out of 100, now the goal is for you to repeat that beauty standard and create that beauty standard for yourself. So most people are operating, I want to say maybe 30 to the 60 range, right? In the mid range where you don't feel good, but you don't feel bad. You're just meh. And sure, meh could be practical, but at one point you might be asking yourself, I want more. I want to feel better. I want to wake up every day feeling like I am that bitch, going into work, starting your own business, all the things that you desire. Your clothes could be a way to amplify that energy. So instead of operating from that 30-60 energy, you could start operating from 90-100, maybe 80-100 energy. And you get to do that by understanding your beauty standards. Let's say I'm on my period, but I have to still run errands and I have to go out. You will not catch me in leggings, okay? You will not catch me in leggings unless I'm literally like working out, like right after or before. Unless I'm doing that, you will not catch me in leggings. And that is a beauty standard that I created for myself, because I don't see my next level self, my best version of myself, wearing leggings like that. Even if she was, again, it is for workout, it is with a cute set. It's not my standard though. It's not going to be where I'm leaning towards that and feeling actual joy, because that's not me. If it is for you, you do that. If it's a Lululemon set, you do that. However, that wasn't for me. So for me, my standard that I created for myself is I will never be wearing leggings. I remember the day, guys, I remember the day that I got rid of my leggings from my wardrobe. And when I say leggings, it's like those, like, just all black, all gray leggings that I had from like Forever 21 from like years ago when I was in college. I would wear them. And after college, when I was really, before I became a stylist, I was really working on myself and my style, because I had to walk the walk, walk the talk, right? So I remember the day I got rid of all these leggings and I was like, oh my God, I'm not a college student anymore. All the things that you get rid of that's not serving you is old stories, old identity, old habits that you're also releasing at the same time. So create your beauty standard. Create what makes you feel good and make that a certain standard for yourself that you could always come back to. So again, for me, it's not wearing leggings. Another thing I do is at least have my jewelry on anywhere I go. Even if I'm looking bummy in my outfit, which I don't, but if I'm just wearing, let's say, a t-shirt and denim jeans, or a t-shirt with one of my cozy pants with sneakers, like even if it's cozy, even if it looks very casual, I will always, always have my jewelry on. When I don't have my jewelry on, I'm either sick or I'm really having a very low day, which is something I get to honor by not wearing that jewelry. But those are the standards that I created for myself. My bare minimum, non negotiable rule before I get dressed or before I leave the house, what is that? And create that and make that your beauty standard. Because once you have your beauty standard, you are expecting something from yourself. You're expecting you to show up for you. So far, we just talked about understanding the societal beauty standards versus your own, what makes you feel good, then really understanding the items that makes you feel like a 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, and then understanding what those qualities are. And then in your day-to-day life, try to repeat that as often as you can. So let's say it was a bodycon dress that you were wearing that made you feel turned on, but maybe it's not about the dress itself, but maybe it was the color, maybe it was the fabric, or you like fitted clothing. So you get to bring those elements into your day to day and make that your beauty standard. You get to create what is actually making you feel turned on. It is so hard being a woman on its own, okay? When you do one thing, people will say other. If you do the other thing that people wanted you to do, people will still have opinion. So at the end of the day, you are the one who gets to create your own rules and follow through with your rules and your standards and be happy with that. So when it comes to your image, your style, your makeup, your hair, anything, your image as a whole, try to enjoy it and try to create some type of rule for yourself that you could follow over and over and over again so that you could keep showing up for yourself. When you show up for yourself in your beauty, in your image, you will show up for yourself in your business. You will show up for yourself in your partnership, in your friendship, in anything that you desire. I hope this episode resonated with you. And if it did, I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment. I would love a review on the podcast. And if there's any aha moments that you would like to share with me, again, message me on Instagram, chat with me, tag me on your stories. I'm on Instagram at Buruen, BURU.ANN. I would love to connect with you, see if anything came up for you, and I will catch you in my next episode. So, bye for now. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Mata ne!